The meeting is called to order for the City Council hearing and meeting April 18th, 2019. Madam Clerk, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag Councilman Asbill,
Present.
Councilman Buddy,
Present.
Councilman Chatelain,
Present.
Councilman Johnston,
Present.
Councilman Wheeler,
Present.
Mayor Baudier,
Present.
Police Chief Walker, Fire Chief St. Cyr,
Present.
Municipal Clerk Nicole Lee is present, and Finance Director Todd Tunion.
Madam Clerk.
Mayor, before we start, I'd like to motion to amend the agenda to bring up the nomination for the city attorney.
Motion by Councilman Johnston to bring up the new city attorney. Second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. We have a new city attorney with us tonight, Scott Stansberry. We've had a prior city attorney, Stephen Pettit, and he's moved on to, brighter future. He has things that he wants to go do, and we support him very well. He's been a friend to us, a friend to the city, and we wish him great success and luck in his future. And I'd like to welcome my new city attorney, Scott Stansberry, he's actually sat in here before. He has experience, and
Vote on it.
we're going to put some faith and trust in him.
Yeah, we got to vote.
All right, all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Congratulations, Mr. Scott.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, special presentations. Dr. Brumley and Billy North.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, Chief, and neighbors, I didn't bring Dr. Brumley because he talks too much. We'd be here about an hour and a half, okay? I only got about 45 minutes here, but thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity. It's a pleasure for me to be here and as a neighbor come here talking about our schools. I'm going to go talk very quickly about a couple things happening in a couple of the schools, and then I'll talk to you about something we all like to talk about, and that's asking you for more money. But let me tell you some good things first. Hazel Park has a new principal. I'm very excited about this young lady. I'm looking for great things to happen there. And also at Harahan Elementary, if not this year, then next year, we're going to implement a program with Children's Hospital so we can have a doctor available for children that are sick. And it'll be like a FaceTime thing where if a child comes to school sick and if the parent's in the program, we press a button and they have access to a doctor at Children's Hospital. So I'm very excited about that. And that's going to happen right here at Harahan Elementary. Okay, now the fun part. Elected officials understand that we all pay taxes too, and we have money that comes out of our pocket, but we also have to pay some bills. And it's always very difficult, and it's a very serious thing when we come to our neighbors and ask you for more money. But that's what we're doing on May 4th. All right, we have a millage together where we're asking you for 8 additional mills. And it is solely dedicated by law. Let me repeat that again. All the monies are dedicated by law to go to employee compensation. Now, I didn't say teachers, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. I'm going to go through this real quick because I think it's very important that we get the facts. I do have a page on social media. And social media does a lot of good. And people can have opinions. But if you're going to post on social media, make sure you post facts. Because this is very serious business. We're talking about our children. All right, there's some misinformation out there, and it will directly affect how we educate our children for generations to go. So I'm going to talk about some of those facts tonight because I think it's very important. I think it's important as a public official to educate the public with facts, not opinions, and then you folks will decide how you're going to vote. So please bear with me with a couple of things, if you don't mind, Council. Great schools will enhance the quality for everyone in this community. It doesn't matter if your child goes to St. Rita. My daughter goes to a Catholic school too. I went to Catholic schools. But we have to support all of our schools in our district. It will create an educated workforce provide for a stronger economy, increase property values, and contribute to safer neighborhoods. You know, every year we lose 30% of our veteran teachers. Every year we lose them. We lose 40% of new teachers to surrounding parishes. I'm going to tell you why right now. Our teacher pay ranks 8 out of 9 of the surrounding school districts. Let me say it again, 8 out of 9. So what we do, we get teachers, some of them who aren't certified. We help them get certified, and once they're certified, they're going to drive to St. Rose and work for St. Charles Parish and make an extra $6,000 or $7,000 a year. And that's a fact, and that's what happens. You know, we're going to lose experienced teachers, our best talent, to other parishes because the other parishes are paying more money. We all want to make more money. You know, teachers, more than others, I think, along with policemen and firemen, all right, they are dedicated employees who will work for lesser pay. But at some point in time, we have to pay those folks, y'all. We do. Let's talk about the mills. All right, we're asking for an additional 8. Right now, in Jefferson Parish, I'll just use 23. 23 mills are dedicated to public education. 23. In St. Bernard, that number is 41. 41. In St. Charles, that number is 55. And in St. Tammany, that number is 66. So even if you folks do give us an additional 8 mills, we'll still be at 31, and we'll still take 10 less mills in St. Bernard, 25 less mills than St. Charles, and 35 less mills than St. Tammany. Now, bottom line, what's it going to cost? If you have a $500,000 home, it will cost you an additional $335 per year. So we're looking at less than $30 a month. If you have a $400,000 home as appraised, and these numbers we're getting these from the assessor's office and also our people. So the numbers that I'm giving you are numbers that I'm looking at as fact. We have professionals that work with us, and they're giving me facts, and that's what this is going to be. And if it isn't, then we're going to hold them accountable. We have a new board. All right, we have a new board, and we are going to be good stewards of your money. If you have a $300,000 home, it will cost you $177 a year. A year. And if your home is appraised at $200,000, then it will cost you $98 a year, which is about $8 a month. Now, the mills will bring us, if you guys pass it, will bring us about $29 million a year. Of that $29 million, 97% of that money is going to on-site personnel. All teachers? No, not all teachers. But you know, the cafeteria workers, the maintenance people, the secretaries, all right, the teacher assistants, the paraprofessionals, the bus drivers. They all touch kids every day. They positively affect children every day. And what we pay some of these folks, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. We have some issues with our cafeteria food sometimes. And some of that problem is that we don't pay our cafeteria managers enough. We lose people all the time. There's no consistency. Some people have said, well, why do we have a public transportation company or a private transportation company driving our buses? I liked it when we had a bus driver that we knew. Bus drivers haven't gotten a raise in 10 years. We're losing them. We're losing them. And the first person that sees our children in the morning, the bus driver. The other person's the crossing guard. I'm not going to tell you how much we pay those folks, you hear? It is embarrassing. Vast majority of the money is, though, going to go to the teacher. Now, we're also finding in the budget right now, those of you that think we have money, and we do have a little bit, we're going to take $7 million that we're finding right now. We're cutting and redirecting right now. So we're going to put $7 million in that we already have, along with the 28, 29 that we're going to raise. And finally, and thank you so much for your patience, you guys. I'm going to step on something I probably shouldn't step on, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I'm very passionate about this. I'm a 30-year educator. All right, I retired in 2017, and you know what? I didn't get a raise the last 7 years that I worked in the district. So there are teachers in the district right now that hadn't had raises in 10 years. 10 years. But we have people that want to post on social media about how these 8 mills that we're going to put up is going to double their property tax. I don't know what kind of math that is, but it doesn't work. So please quit doing that. That's not the truth. Tell the truth. Thank you. The other thing, where's the lottery money? This is a fact. Last year, the lotto put $161 million into the state budget for education. St. Tammany Parish, their budget for education last year was $477 million. Our budget is over $500 million. So just 2 districts out of 68, budget is almost $1 billion. How far do you think that 161 million is going? Not very. What about gambling money? Total gambling money was $750 million in 2015. Where does that money go? Into the black hole called the state budget. It is not earmarked for education. So, please don't hold that against me, because 4 months ago, I was just like you. I wasn't an elected official 4 months ago, all right, and I'm still a taxpayer. If the legislature lied to you 20 years ago, don't hold that against our kids now, all right? You have to trust your elected officials at some point in time. You have to trust these folks at some point in time to do the right thing. You have to trust us at some point in time to do the right thing. If you want to discuss something in dialogue form, I do have a Facebook page, Billy North, District 7 School Board. Ask questions. If I don't know it, I will look it up. It's too important for us to throw stuff out there and to be angry at individuals. It's too important to our kids and to this community. So please reach out, get the information. Neighbors, all right, neighbors, or all community here. We have a school right down the street. Those babies need us, and the educators need us. So please, please vote, and please think about supporting our millage. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was long, Mr. Mayor.
It's okay.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
I do. Mr. North, I know we spoke before, and I know we spoke a little while ago, and we're going to try to meet up next week to discuss the Harahan School carpool.
Yes, sir, we will. I did go over there, and what we're trying to do from our end is just have the principal do some things to make it a little bit quicker. I pray that the people, as in every carpool, and I'm in a carpool myself every afternoon, and sometimes I'm not as considerate as I should be, all right, but we need to be more considerate, I think, as a community, and I'm the same way. But we can do something, and we will get an engineer out there, and if there's something that we can do, we will work with you, yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
And just one thing.
Yes,
just
sir.
So people know how lucky we are. You live in Harahan, and Dr. Brumley lives in Harahan. And that's just incredible to see our representative to the school board and the chairman of the school board, which is official.
Well, we're neighbors, y'all, and it means something to us. My wife has lived in this area for 30 years. You guys have welcomed me for the last 4 years. I'm going to live here. I'm going to raise my family here, and I'm going to die here. Okay? So 10 years, I know, kind of morbid. But I'm going to tell you now, listen to me. 10 years from now, you will see me at the Harahan Playground. All right? You will see me at the bowling alley. And if I'm not being honest with you now about this millage, you can tell me you're the no good whatever that lied to us that night because I was there. That's not happening. That's not happening. I'm passionate about this, and I will make sure, I promise you, this board will look after your money, and we're going to do it right. Thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate y'all.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
The name of the new principal at Harahan Elementary, do you
Her
recall it?
last name is Miss Caton. I hear nothing.
And that's at Hazel Park.
That's Hazel.
Hazel Park.
Oh, I'm sorry.
At Hazel, I'm sorry, yes, we have a new principal at Hazel Park. Her last name is Miss Caton. I haven't met her, but I will certainly be very much involved over there, and I hear a lot of good things about her. So I feel real good about.
Thank you.
I feel real good about Dr. Brumley, his commitment to our kids and our community, and like the mayor said, he lives right down the street. So it's certainly, I think, good for this community. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Darlene Schwartz, Community Liaison.
Don't.
She's not going to make it
Okay.
Yeah, she's not going to make it tonight. She called in. And number 3, current state of the Harahan Police Department, Chief Walker.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, viewing public. First thing is on the 27th of April, for 2 weeks on a Saturday, from 10 to 2, we have the drug take-back program again. Police station in the front lobby, and also at Walgreens, the former Rite Aid at 8225 Jefferson Highway. It's very important that y'all go through your medicine cabinets at home. A lot of these drugs that are sitting around, young people have the opportunity to pick up, or even somebody else is not a young person that's addicted to drugs will take these. They'll either sell them or they'll use them. So this is a way for you to get them off the street, drop them off at either one of these 2 locations, no questions asked. We pack them up, give it to DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration. They pick it up from us the same day and they take it off and they destroy it properly. I'll be here 5 years next month. I don't know where Tom went. But I've seen a lot over the years where we have, hate to use the word vagrants, wound up in our little city of Harahan. Just recently had one on Bailey, had wound up in somebody's backyard. We were able to capture him. In the last 2 months, I know we found backpacks down by the organizations that, like the Lions Club, VFW, in their yards. One of them we were able to identify who they belong to. The other one we haven't. So it goes back to what I was saying before. If you see something that doesn't look right, call us. We're coming out. If you don't feel right about that person in your neighborhood, call us, let us come out, investigate it, and see what they're up to. I just can't believe over the years how many people we've run across, how they wound up in our city. It's unbelievable, the amount. Also, I said before last month, keep saying it, check your municipal numbers on your house and your business places. Make sure that all our numbers are there in the right sequence and that they're visible. It takes first responders, a considerable amount of time to get to you, and if we can't find the location, whether it's police, fire, or EMS, time is of an essence. So, and also lock your cars, lock your house. Have a happy and safe Easter. Thank you.
All right, and proclamation for Fair Housing Month. They asked that we just email that over to them, so we can move on to approval of the minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on March 21st.
Do we have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes from March 21st?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on March 21st.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes for March
Motion.
21st? Motion by Councilman Buddy,
Second.
second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are approved.
And communications, I have on the agenda none, but there was a planning and zoning meeting on March 20th, and those minutes will be up for approval at the May 16th council meeting. And resolutions. Proposed resolution number 2019-2. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Asbill. A resolution of the City of Harahan in opposition of all proposed legislation that permits the legislature to remove the authority of local governments to administer and collect local sales and use taxes. Whereas the Constitution of the State of Louisiana grants local governments the right to levy and collect local sales and use taxes. Whereas there are legislative efforts introduced in the 2019 regular legislative session that would allow the legislature to transfer collection responsibility of all local sales and use tax levies to the State Department of Revenue or some other entity. Whereas local taxing authorities possess the best knowledge and experience to properly collect their own taxes and have a proven record of proactive advancements in the areas of enforcement, audit coverage, dispute resolution, reporting technology, and successful litigation. Whereas the state of Louisiana's budget issues do not offer prospects for the Department of Revenue to have sufficient resources to provide the necessary taxpayer assistance, enforcement programs, and training of its employees on the specific application of local sales and use tax ordinances without significant cost contributions from local governments, thereby resulting in the direct and indirect loss of local tax receipts. Whereas many local taxing authorities have issued bonded indebtedness guaranteed by the passage of locally adopted sales and use tax levies, the collection of said levies being the direct responsibility of those local governments, and the transfer of that responsibility to a state agency may violate bond covenants, generate legal challenges, and jeopardize future bond issuances. And whereas the single local collector in each parish is directly responsible to the local taxing authorities and their elected officials for the performance of local tax administrations, whereas the Secretary of the Department of Revenue is an appointee of the governor, therefore, there exists great uncertainty as to who in the Department of Revenue will be accountable to local taxing authorities for the performance of such critical local tax administration. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of Harahan, as a local taxing authority and/or governing body, urges each member of the legislative delegation for the parish of Jefferson to vigorously oppose any and all proposed legislation that would transfer the administration and collection of local sales and use taxes to the Louisiana Department of Revenue or some other central collector. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent forthwith to said legislators so that they will be notified of our position on this matter. The foregoing resolution having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Okay, do I have a motion to open public hearing for proposed resolution number 2019-2?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now open.
For the public, Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office has a sales tax collection division, and they collect all sales taxes for the municipalities in the city and also the other governing bodies that have sales tax, like the school board and some other entities. They do all the collection, and they remit that on a regular basis to the entity such as Harahan that they collect for. I think we ought to keep it local. I'm in favor of y'all voting for this.
Great, thank you. Move to close the public hearing.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed.
I'd
Okay,
like
Council
to,
discussion?
I'd like to ask, or I'd like to have someone come and present the state's position. And I'm not sure about why the state's doing this, but I sort of recall that it's possibly has something to do with a U.S. Supreme Court decision and how states have a right then to collect internet sales or internet taxes on internet sales. So it's possible if this doesn't happen, that there'll actually be a loss of revenue to the state and how it's ultimately distributed to the municipalities. So before we assume it's only bad coming out of this, I'd almost like to see if we could have someone come to the next council meeting and present the state's position on why they're doing it. Because it may have, I'm not 100% sure
Yeah.
of why the state or some people are moving in that direction.
So this is as a result of legislation that's brought up by a business lobby, I believe, and the state's not necessarily in favor of it, but the legislation is up there now. And this is a recommended resolution from basically the Louisiana Municipal Association that has recommended that the taxing authorities stay within the local governments because we're more accountable than the state secretary would be. And so there is that Supreme Court case. It's their position that the Supreme Court decision, as the business lobby has made it out to be, is not that. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, we would there would be no negative repercussions of leaving it with the local taxing authorities. That's the LMA's position.
And it has no bearing on internet sales like the Wayfarer and all of them where we get,
I think that is the gist of it, or that's the main part of it. That's where the Supreme Court arises from. The Supreme Court case arises from, but right now the sales tax is collected by the state, sent to the parishes, and the parishes disperse it, and they're trying to make it the state is already collecting the internet sales tax. They're trying to make everything collectible by the state, so that it can be one central collection agency and then disperse it afterwards. is what the legislation, and from my understanding, that's what the legislation's trying, the legislation from the business lobby is trying to do.
But this is an LMA
LMA
Yeah, this is-
sponsored.
That's right, yeah, this is.
LMA recommended us to do this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, is that it? All right, do I have a motion to proceed with the vote?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnston, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays, resolution passes.
Proposed resolution number 2019-3. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Johnston. A resolution authorizing Mayor Bodier on behalf of the City of Harahan to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Parish of Jefferson to provide the City of Harahan funds to be used for street repairs. Whereas the City of Harahan is a city within the Parish of Jefferson, and whereas Jefferson Parish Councilman Paul Johnston, District 2, granted the City of Harahan the funds in the amount of $250,000 to be used for street repairs. Now therefore be it resolved by the Harahan City Council, acting as governing authority of the said city, that Mayor Tim Bodier, on behalf of the City of Harahan, is hereby authorized to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Jefferson Parish, with the Parish of Jefferson, to provide the City of Harahan funds to be used for street repairs. The foregoing resolution having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion to open for public hearing?
Motion.
Resolution 2019-3, motion by Councilman Johnston, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas.
Yay.
Do I have an opportunity to speak to this amendment, or this motion?
Come up to the
Yes, sir.
podium.
Maydeen Casnay, 46 Oak Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana. When we checked the website at noon yesterday, the agenda was not there. Therefore, it was impossible to know what this resolution said. The agenda was finally put up just before City Hall closed. It seems that transparency is really not important to this administration. How can the citizens comment on your proposals if you keep playing hide and seek with them? Now that Councilman Johnson has finally decided to fund something besides the police department by giving back the city $250,000 of our tax dollars to fix streets, there is still no mention of what streets will be repaired or how much will each one cost. If you remember, that information was demanded of Mayor Maselli, so why wouldn't you provide it now? Can you please let us know what streets are going to be repaired? Thank you.
Hate.
Thank you. My name is Charles King, live at 504 Roseland Parkway. I would like to ask for an amendment to this motion to, rather than just say streets, I'd like to have drainage also incorporated in that. Repairs to streets and drainage. Thank you, Mike.
Mr. Charles King, before you step down. So
Sir?
I've been on your street quite a bit. I know it very well. And this money is actually going to go to help us fix your street.
Well-
I know the drainage issues that you have. We're going to try to fix what we can, try to level, because you have the problem. Mr. King has a problem where the 400 block of Roseland dips down into the 500 block of Roseland, and the water comes down so fast that whatever drains there can't catch it. It's almost has a waterfall effect. And by the time it hits 2-3 houses down, the sewer manhole is coming up. And the truth is that he doesn't have a flooding issue. He has a sewer issue, because now the flooding has turned into a giant toilet in front of his house. And but this is what Councilman Johnson and I have spoke about this. He is actually, and this Councilman Johnson as well, and all, have all been on board, and this is where we're going. So the 2 streets that we will be working on will be your street. We will try to go back, and then Tyler would be the other. We want to finish up Tyler. We have some issues there. We have some tree issues there, and we also have the part of Tyler that was done under the last administration that some things have to go be fixed as well.
Very
So
fine.
that's your
Thank
answer.
you,
Thank you,
Council.
Mr. King.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Move.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
So, oh,
I just have one question. So Todd, in the previous administration, if we had accepted money via resolution, we were told that we eventually have to go back and do it as a form of an ordinance, so it can be done in the budget. Is that what we're gonna have to do here when it finally comes into the agreement?
So the question is, when do we need to actually?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the prior administration said that, and even when we had the prior auditor, we're
Prior
saying
auditor.
that if we couldn't adopt by resolution.
Right.
We had to go back and do an ordinance, so it would go in the budget.
Correct.
So, okay, so is that something we should do, like, after the agreement is adopted, or do we just go ahead and, I guess, once the money's received? Or, just so we don't want to make sure the money's allocated and credited in the budget properly?
Sure.
Okay.
I think we would do that as we would amend the budget.
Sure, we would do that as we would amend the budget throughout the year.
Okay.
Like we would normally do.
We just want to make sure there's no issues when
Sure.
there's an audit at the end. Okay.
No,
I had the same.
not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
I had the same question, and I understand this is a resolution, and when
Once
the
it's-
agreement is drafted, it'll come back.
Correct. Once it's
from-
finalized, it'll
from-
have to come back to us,
and
and
at
we'll
that
have to
time, we'll
do
have
the
the
budget
streets
ordinance.
listed, right?
Right.
Okay.
And then we'll get together by the ordinance.
So this is just,
This is just a formality for the
Roger
parish
that.
so they can move forward
they can move,
to give us
right.
the money. Yes.
roger that. Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you, Councilman Johnson.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Well, one, thank you, Councilman Johnson, and thank you, Councilman
Council-
Johnson,
yeah.
for spearheading this committee and working on this for me. You are the man. Thank you. Any more council discussion? All right.
No discussion.
All right, do I have a motion to proceed with the vote?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, proposed resolution number 2019-4. The following resolution was offered unanimously by the council of the city of Harahan. Be it resolved that the following millages are hereby levied on the 2019 tax roll on all property subject to taxation by the city of Harahan. The total millage, 21.93 mills. Be it further resolved that the proper administrative officials of the city of Harahan, state of Louisiana, be and they are hereby empowered, authorized, and directed to spread said taxes as hereinabove set forth upon the assessment roll of the city for the year 2019, and to make the collection of the taxes imposed for and on behalf of the taxing authority according to law, and that the taxes herein levied shall become a permanent lien and privilege on all property subject to taxation as herein set forth, and collection thereof shall be enforceable in the manner provided by law. The foregoing resolution was read in full. The roll was called on the adoption thereof, and this resolution was adopted by the following votes.
That's the last.
Okay, do I have a motion to open up Resolution 2019-5 for public hearing?
4.
I'm sorry, 4, you're right.
Motion.
2019-4?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
Public hearing is now open. Okay, no one coming to speak on this order. Do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. Any council discussion?
Just so that it's clear, this is the same tax levy as the previous year, is that right?
Yes, sir.
It's the same levy as the end of 2000. It was in place for 2018.
18.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. So,
Which is a total of 21.93.
okay. Do I have a motion to proceed with the vote?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution passes. Thank you, guys.
Proposed resolution number 2019-5. The following resolution was offered unanimously by the Harahan City Council. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Harahan adopting the 2018 Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire. Whereas a questionnaire is a required part of the financial and compliance audit of Louisiana governmental units, and whereas the legal matters contained in the questionnaire parallel those matters contained in the laws affecting Louisiana government, and whereas upon completion, the questionnaire must be presented and adopted by the governing body, and whereas the completed questionnaire and copy of the adoption instrument must be given to the auditor at the beginning of the audit. Now therefore be it resolved by the Harahan City Council, acting as governing authority of said city, that the Harahan City Council hereby adopts the 2018 Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire.
Okay, do I have a motion to open a public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler. Public hearing is now open. No one coming forward to speak on this motion. Do I have resolution. Do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
Can we just ask, City Finance Director just kind of speak on it about,
Sure.
just generally, just tell us generally what it is, the public actually. There you go.
So the Louisiana Legislative Auditor's Office requires all municipalities to complete this compliance questionnaire during the audit process and provide it to the external audit firm. What the checklist or the questionnaire lists is some basic information about the city, its officers, council members, mayor, police chief, the enabling legislation that actually created the city. And then it lists between 20 to 30 state laws that the city is required to comply with. And we answer yes or no to the best of our knowledge if the city is in compliance with those requirements. There are multiple questions that are not applicable to the city. They're applicable only to school boards or other agencies or services that the city does not perform. So we answer those questions appropriately. Did that answer your question, council member?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Okay, do I have a motion to proceed with the vote?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution passes. Ordinance for approval.
Oh, you good.
Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2018-18. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance to amend Ordinance 1333, Harahan zoning ordinance, Section 18-C, substandard lots of record.
Okay, do I have a motion to open public hearing for
Motion.
proposed ordinance 2018-18?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now open. No one coming forward to speak against this resolution or for this ordinance. Public hearing. Do I have a motion to close public hearing? Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
I know we had deferred this because you had some questions on
I
here.
did, but I met with the clerk,
Okay.
and we went over everything, and I got all my questions answered.
So you good?
So yes.
Okay.
Can I comment?
Yes, sir.
As I recall, the two areas of question, one was on line 38.
Right,
where it has-
designating the duties.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct, but,
And-
oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I spoke with the clerk and the mayor also, and when I spoke with them, it wasn't, they hadn't made a determination as to whether that should be the regulatory department doing the advertising or the clerk. And it's really not important as long as the mayor has a competent individual doing it. So, Mayor, I would ask you, as this ordinance currently stands, it has the clerk sending out advertisements for planning and zoning meetings, as opposed to the clerk. And it's really your call, sir.
We have two very competent individuals, one that's extremely competent, one in training, and because we just hired someone new and she's amazing, and we're just trying to catch up to speed.
So if I
very
understand
competent.
you correctly, you would prefer that this be a regulatory department for planning and zoning advertising?
Yeah. Our city clerk doesn't mind helping us with it. It can go either way, because I'm sure, it'll be a joint
Yeah.
effort at some point anyway.
We can leave it as is. I just want to make sure, this is just process. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
really important that it conforms to your expectations.
Yes,
So
sir.
we can leave it as is then.
And like I said, I did speak with the clerk, and she has no problem assuming the duties of this.
Okay. And the other item I think Councilman Johnston brought up was in line 56, where it talks about what happens after the Planning and Zoning Board meets and makes a recommendation one way or another. This currently has the recommendation going to the clerk,
Correct.
city clerk,
Right.
and are you okay
I'm
with that?
comfortable with that. Yeah.
Good, great. Then
Yes.
it's okay. Thank you for clarification.
I have another thing. And we're gonna bring it up later, and it'll come up in the next few months. There's no reason for commercial lots to be combined to come in front of the planning and zoning. If you have three substandard lots that are 25 feet, and it's commercial property, we take this and we bring it to the planning and zoning, you go through this process. It just takes up a lot of time, and it's something that legally has to be done. There's no way you could turn them down. It's the right thing to do. So I'll vote on this ordinance, but we're gonna come right behind this and change this up. I just can't see why that wouldn't be administrative in-house. Residential, we can do administrative in-house. 2 25-foot lots, you come in, you wanna build a house on it, you can't build over a property line. The mayor signs off on it, it becomes one lot. This just seems like a lot of paperwork to go through to do this. Now, you will have cases where you have substandard lots that are on different angles and might butt up against different property that's gonna have to come in front of planning and zoning. And if someone has a different direction, they could steer me in a different way on this. The standard lots that we've been doing recently to take 25s and make them into 75s, which is mandated by law, should not have to go through this process.
I agree.
So if I could expand a little bit on what Councilman Chatelain is saying is, he's saying that this city wants to be a friend of business. We want to be, a proponent to moving things faster, to getting, to opening our arms, welcoming new businesses in here, and not trying to slow them down with a bureaucratic paper process. People that own a company are ready to get in business, they're excited, they're ready to go and ready to get going, and we want to do everything we can to facilitate that process. And basically making unconforming to conforming is, again, okay with residential, but it's not okay with business because you got to put them through a 3-month process, which, just takes 3 months more out of somebody's time, which costs money. And so,
And I'd like to add to that we have a volunteer planning and zoning board. So the city's incurring costs, charging the landowner for the cost of advertising and convening this meeting. Our volunteers on planning and zoning are dutifully attending these meetings, and basically, in this case, rubber stamping something we all know is the right thing to do. So not only are we dragging the process out for the landowner, we're subjecting our volunteers to leaving their homes and come serve the city for something that we can eliminate. So for all those reasons.
thank you.
So it's totally up to this council if y'all want to vote on this. If not, I'll make a motion to defer this and we could change this ordinance up. I'd like to make the motion to defer this and see if we could change this ordinance completely.
Well, I think it's in front of us, we ought to pass it, because if something comes up in the interim, this is the process to get it to planning and zoning.
Right.
And then we can come right behind it. and-
Because it's going
and
to take a
amend.
3-month process to get it changed.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll agree with you on that.
All right, do I have a motion to proceed with the vote?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by? Second by Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance passes.
Proposed ordinance number 2018-26. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Johnston. An ordinance granting a franchise to MCI Metro Access Transmission Services Corp., doing business as Verizon Access Transmission Services, to lay, maintain, and operate a fiber optic transmission cable for the transmission of telephonic data and other electronic messages in, on, and/or across public places or ways, and prescribing conditions and limitations.
Okay, do I have a motion open for public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second?
Second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now open. No one coming to speak on this ordinance. Do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Public hearing is now closed, 5 yeas, 0 nays.
I'm gonna make a
Council discussion.
motion to defer this again. MCI Metro, I think we're meeting next Tuesday or Wednesday. We still haven't had our meeting with them to clear this up. So I'd like to make a motion to defer this.
I second.
All right, got a motion on the floor to defer ordinance 2018-26, second by Councilman Buddy, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion is deferred.
I hope y'all can have y'all's meeting.
Proposed ordinance number 2019-10. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman
I'll take it.
Wheeler. An ordinance approving the re-subdivision of lots 104, 105, and 106, Hickory Knoll subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by KLS Group Incorporated, dated January 30th, 2019.
Okay, do I have a motion open for public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Buddy, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. No one coming to speak forth on this ordinance. Do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Council discussion.
No discussion.
No discussion.
Okay, do I
This,
have a-
this basically is
Oh, no.
one of the ordinances, basically, this is coming in front of us, which, this is something similar to what I'm talking about, I feel should be administrative.
No, I agree.
Absolutely.
These are not even substandard lots.
Well, he's building one
Well,
building
what he
across,
is.
so he'd have to combine the properties.
Okay. Any other council discussion?
No.
Hey,
That's it.
any other council discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry, no discussion, I'm sorry. Hey, hey.
All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Wait, motion to
Motion for the
proceed.
vote.
I'm sorry.
Motion to
Motion
proceed
for
with
the
the
vote.
vote.
I'm sorry.
A motion.
Do I have a
It's all
motion, you got a motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. See, you messed me up.
I'm sorry.
was on a roll.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Actually, gotta buy me a drink, so.
I'm sorry.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2019-11. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman
I'll take it.
Johnston. An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Harahan to provide for the imposition of charges for recycling services.
Okay, do I have a motion to open for public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. Public hearing is now open.
Mary Jean Cassidy, 46 Oak Avenue, Harahan. I don't recycle, and I don't want to pay for something I don't use. This should go before a vote of the people, because I think a lot of people feel the same way as I do, but will not come out publicly and say so. We were promised town hall meetings about this. Why hasn't this been done? There is now an abundance of information about recycling being removed from many cities because the items are not being recycled, but are being thrown out with the other trash into the dump. So why should we pay for another useless service? Thank you.
Move to, oh, we got more people.
Okay, Judy Johnson, Oak Street. I'm assuming, and I know you shouldn't assume, that Mr. Asbill copied the law as it is today, correct? There's a $4 service charge per month per residential unit for garbage, correct?
That is
That
how
has
it
to be
is
corrected.
codified, and we are going to codify, as an amendment, if it's accepted, we'll codify the $5 charge as it was adopted whenever, but it's never been codified in the actual
What
ordinance.
$5 charge?
It's supposed to be $5, not $4.
Yeah,
Okay, so that was, this is incorrect then.
it is.
So you're going to amend your ordinance.
Well, I'm going to amend the current ordinance. The current law is $4. The current code is $4, but it was adopted whenever as a $5 charge. It was increased to $5 previously.
Do you know when it was adopted? Does anybody know? because I have as far as I know, it's been since 2006 is when I look back that far.
Well, this came up last year, but we talked about how the code was wrong, where it was $4, where it was supposed to be 5. So it was supposed to get fixed last year when we did the recycling ordinance, but that didn't go through. That ended up getting pulled, so that's why it
Right,
never
that
got
got pulled,
corrected.
okay.
Yep.
If our water bill seems to be the trash collector. My daughter's water bill, or our water bill, I should say, for water is $25.13. The rest of the stuff is $65.74 in extra charges for garbage, mosquito control, Lafreniere Park, safe water fee. I mean,
And the sewer.
anything y'all can think of to put a fee on us, you stick on the water bill.
Now, a lot of those fees aren't ours.
Yeah.
I didn't say they were.
You just said y'all.
But you say y'all.
Y'all encompasses everybody in this state. What happens when people can't pay their water bill?
They cut your water off.
That's right. They cut your water off. Please find someplace else to put charges. And that goes for Todd, too, because that's coming up, and I'm going to say the same thing again.
We talking
I
about,
was just about to say, hopefully coming to a town near you. the fire department.
Don't worry. I'm for your money, but not on the water bill.
Ms. Shooter, let me ask you a quick question. Do you use garbage service?
Of course we do.
Do you use fire service?
Of course we do.
But you don't want on the water bill to pay for it?
Not on the water bill. Water is an essential. Okay? It is totally essential.
And fire service is not?
I didn't
And
say
trash
it-
collection's not?
Don't put words in my mouth, Mr. Asbell. We have enough to pay. Y'all all want it on the water bill. Y'all all want it paid now.
can you tell me where should we pay it?
We
I'm
have
asking.
we have a tax that comes at the end of the year, or you could figure something out to go in the middle of the year when the taxes are not due. You know? Y'all are supposed to be the elected officials, the smart guys. Figure it out.
Oh, we are. We are.
We did. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and ask if anybody else wants to speak, please come up now and stand in lines, because that way we don't have to wait for people to get up here. Thank you.
Hello, I am Maurizio. I'm at 239 West Avenue. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Councilman. Appreciate it coming up and speak. I think I've emailed all of you just some research. I'm going to make it quick, but I was one of those people who didn't believe in recycling, thought it was a useless thing, which it's not. But I think done appropriately, it will be beneficial. But I think it's just we need to slow down a little bit, take some time, because I think the public needs to be educated on how to recycle, properly recycle. I've done a lot of research on it, and I think that's the way we have to go. $4, $2, $3, it's not going to break my bank. Trust me, I can afford that, and it's not a big deal. But to some people, it is a big deal. And I just hate seeing that money being wasted on garbage, so to speak, where we could use it towards first responders, the fire department, Harahan beautification, things like that. I mean, if we're going to impose a tax or a fee on ourselves, I would wholeheartedly support that. I just don't think recycling, which I have found is a industry that is changing because of imports to China, they don't want to accept the contaminated garbage, is not something that's feasible at this moment. Maybe we can do something, City Hall, the parks, you have paper, plastics, your tin. People can bring it there. I don't know, just something, an alternative, because if it's not cleaned up properly, it's gonna go right into the landfill. It's gonna go right into the landfill. So, that's my 2 cents. Oh, and I want to thank Jason Asbill. We've been communicating back and forth on this issue, talking about stuff, bouncing ideas and talking about things. I appreciate the open communication. Just couldn't meet with you because it's been busy with work lately.
worries.
Very busy.
I understand.
So I do appreciate your time.
Just before I let you go, real quick, I've been in all of the meetings with Councilman Asbill and recycling, and it is we are proposing $1.50, correct?
That's right.
It
A
is
month,
$1.50 per
yep.
month with the adage that this will come before the people. We've also met with the garbage people, and we know that there are recycling watchdogs. And we let them know that if you're, because we've heard the same thing you've heard. We've heard it all, the China, the plastic, the whole deal. And we let them know, if you're gonna recycle, and we're gonna pay, somebody's gonna watch you. So you better be doing it right. And let me tell you, we have their assurance that it is, and when it's not, as we go into the contract and someone actually catches them doing it, they'll be fined. And it'll come back into the city and we'll do something a different way. However, the company they have bent over backwards to work with us, and I want you to know that. And love to see you around City Hall anymore, especially if you, especially if you'd like to, become a part of this. We'd love to welcome you to the team and come help us get educated on it all.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Branch, 167 Raven. First thing is, guys, congratulations. You guys worked hard to get where you're at. My major concern with this entire thing is, A, are our elderly going to be able to afford new tax? This could be the difference between somebody getting medication and not. If you start looking at this over a long term, this does hurt those. The second thing that I have a problem with is, what happens if you have somebody who's constantly putting junk in those containers? They're contaminating not only their recycling, but they're going to contaminate the entire city's recycling. Do we have a plan to actually find people who continuously do this?
No. We would hope that if people want recycling and want to use recycling, at some point you have to take the good faith of people that they'll actually do the process correctly. There's no way we can sit and police, 4,000 households. People have asked for it while we were out campaigning. It was the #1 issue for me as I knocked on every door, I can tell you that. And so we made a campaign promise to put every effort forth to try to figure out how can we get this back on the agenda and back in front of people's places. And Maurizio made a comment about, doing maybe stations where they can drop off. However, as in the previous 4 years, that turns into a catastrophe. People, they go drop motor oil in there or crawfish in there. And
Exactly.
yeah, so exactly what you're talking about is exactly what's going to happen.
Well, that's my major concern, would be we go in this with good faith, good effort, and there's always somebody who's going to ruin it for everybody. It makes no sense for me to try my best to do what we need to do and have somebody else constantly mess it up, because it's going to happen. We need to find a way to prevent this. We need to find a way to educate people and make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen.
And so the way I read this ordinance, that this recycling will come up and it will be brought before the people in a year. So maybe we can spend that time of doing recycling, because we're getting at that cost. They're taking a loss, and we're getting at that. Maybe we can spend that next year recycling if this chooses to pass. And we can spend that next year and at $1.50, which is $15 per household per year. And I think it would be great. And again, I welcome you as I welcome Maurizio to come stand at this dais. You live in Harahan just like he does. Come be a voice for it.
I'll be around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, come on.
Rena Sanders, Oak Avenue. I love recycling. And in the past, dealing with the recycling companies and the people, from working up here, when you have curbside recycling, if the driver comes, you have the green bin out, something's in the bin that doesn't belong in the bin, he won't pick the bin up. The bin will stay. So we had a lot of complaints, back in the day when we had recycling. And usually, if your bin didn't get picked up, you had something in the bin that wasn't supposed to be in there. So when you have curbside, it's different from the big, the big bins that were at all the different places. Yeah. So, that kind of shuts that down, where if you have a big old truck, he's not going to pick up anything that doesn't belong in the truck to mess up the whole batch. So that's one good thing about it. But go recycling.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Move to close.
All right, motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain to close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
I'll talk about recycling. As Mayor Baudier said, when we knocked doors for our election, the #1 concern was recycling. Curbside recycling. Bring back curbside recycling. I'm not a recycler. A lot of people want recycling. My kids tell me about recycling. My kids want to recycle. It's so much more convenient with a curbside, and we would have to look and we'd talk to the people about taking contaminated stuff. Just like you said, leave the box there. If he has one thing contaminated, leave the whole box there. And then the resident's going to realize, oh, they didn't pick up my recycling. What am I doing wrong? I went to Austin a while back. I mean, their recycling bins are bigger than their trash cans. They recycle everything. And so many people are participating. When I was a kid, my dad wouldn't let me recycle. Basically, when we put our recycling out, and the recycling guy picked it up, and he looked in there, and he seen a couple of things that were recyclable, and he threw them in our yard. My dad said, "You're not putting that out in our front yard no more." So we couldn't recycle. You know, he was just, because basically, it's the way the service guys treated the property. They basically took the stuff out that wasn't recyclable, and just threw it in your yard. If they leave the whole bin there, that means the people are trying to recycle. They want to do it. Occasionally, somebody's going to do something wrong. They're going to put a contaminated bottle in there that has something that's not supposed to be in there. And if they're taking their time to put that recycling bin out, they're going to take their time to realize, what am I doing wrong? Why aren't they taking my recyclables? So I think it's a process we need to work through. I had 2 people call me against recycling. Out of the city of Harahan, 2 people called me. I had about 3 emails against recycling. We have almost 10,000 residents, and I had 5 people total. I don't think this is a lot of money, which I know fixed incomes, every dollar adds up. I would like to probably put a deferral on this, basically because I'd like to hear a little more input from the citizens. But I'll let everybody else, talk, see what they have to say, and figure out what we're gonna do. But I'm not opposed to this.
I actually talked to Councilman Asbill before the meeting. I'd like a little more information from Ramelli themselves on what they're actually going to accept, making sure, what are they going to do to make sure that the stuff picked up is actually going to recycle centers, like what was brought up recently on Facebook and our emails, and that they have a lot of questions that I think need answering from Ramelli.
Yeah, so just real quick, this is, as Mayor Baudier explained, this has been a hot topic during campaign season. A lot of people we talked to, they wanted recycling reinstated. And of course, the past few days, right before the council meetings, you get all the naysayers that come out and want to oppose it. And that's great as well. I want their input. But at the same time, I knocked every door in Harahan, some of them twice, and a majority of those wanted recycling. That said, Ms. Magine, I'm not sure who promised a town hall meeting on this, but I'm willing to have one. And so for that reason, ma'am?
Before you make a motion to defer, I want to say something.
Okay. And this is still a developing, as Mr. Maurizio said, the industry is changing. Just today, I got a call from one of the Ramelli representatives, and he said that just Friday, he got notification from Republic Waste Services, which is the big place over off of Earhart. They've actually stopped accepting all recycling, and they take Kenner and New Orleans recycling, and that's Ramelli's contracts, and that's who they were going to send ours to. So they've got to find a new collector for those, or a new recycling collector for those contracts. He also asked me to defer this so that we can get together and talk about what the other options are going forward. Before I make my motion, to defer, I'll go ahead and let anybody else talk that wants to talk, just so we can get it out there.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I heard the same comments from the overwhelming majority of Harahan citizens that I spoke with when I canvassed the neighborhood. People are generally very favorable to curbside recycling. I recycle, my family recycles, and I'd like to see it come back at a reasonable price. And having said that, Councilman Asbill, I'd like to spend a couple of minutes with you at, off mic and talk about some suggested changes in the verbiage, and hopefully we can make this happen for the community.
Yeah. Okay, so I got this letter just recently from Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. I'm just going to read it if you don't mind. The rate of recycling in Louisiana is only 6.3% compared to the national rate of 34%. This is a statistic that I personally find alarming. I know we can do better in Louisiana, and I'm not alone in this belief. Recycling not only creates a safe and clean environment, it also drives economic development and job growth. In 2017, the Louisiana Recycling Coalition, LRC, was formed in efforts to improve recycling in Louisiana. The coalition brings together individuals, nonprofits, organizations, businesses, and government entities to provide advocacy, resources, and education and networking opportunities to increase recycling in Louisiana. I've actually met with these guys, and what they do is they try to come in and try to group your municipality with another and look for better rates as a region. You know, and it'd definitely be a resource that we can look out, you know, we can reach out to. I'm sure they'd be happy to get involved and come help us. And I'll have this information for you guys if you'd like. Thank you. All right, Councilman.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to amend, I'm sorry, I'm throwing it.
Defer.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna make a motion to
Oh,
amend
Christ.
the $4 charge, the $5 charge, to go ahead and codify what has already been done. That way, when this comes up next time, we'll have that out of the way.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor of ordinance 2019-11 to change the $4 charge to the $5 charge. What line was that?
34.
Line 34, by Councilman Asbill. Second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler.
Paul, just, do we have to open this up to public hearing?
We are gonna open up the public hearing, yeah.
Okay.
This is just to
We're
make
just
the
gonna amend
motion
it?
to the amendment.
Okay.
Thank
We have a motion to make the, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas.
I'm sorry,
This dude.
yeah. Let's not vote on it, yeah, let's go ahead and open the public hearing on the
This is just
amendment.
okay.
Yeah, we gotta open the public hearing on the amendment.
All right, do I have a
and then we can
motion
vote on it.
to open a public hearing on the amendment to change the $4 from $5 to
Motion.
codify the ordinance? A motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler. Public hearing is now open. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now open. No one wishing to come speak?
Move to
for-
close.
Do you have a motion to close public hearings?
Hold on.
Hold on, whoa. No, we ain't closing it yet.
Got some talkers.
Why should you, Nadine Casnave, Oak Avenue, why should you be voting to raise it from $4 to $5 when you don't even know the majority of people that are interested in it?
No,
Ma'am.
Ms. Majine, this is the
That's-
garbage.
This
This
is
is
the
not
gar-
recycling.
That's
Yep.
bringing it up to what it should be.
It's
It-
already-
it-
It's
You're-
already
you're
five.
already
You
paying
It wasn't right in the
$5.
code. It wasn't right in the code.
Okay.
We're just amending the code, like,
To
it's
fix it so
already
it
that way,
is
it's just
We-
not
We're trying to
proper.
be transparent, Ms. Majine, which this is a transparency. We want to be transparent. Okay.
Move to close the public hearing.
All right, public hearing is now closed.
Second.
Second.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Mr. King.
All right, Mr. King.
Charlie King on this matter of recycling. I'm in favor of it. $5 a month. Give up a pack of cigarettes, give up a six-pack.
That's $1.50 a month.
It's
That's
$1.50
$1.50
a month.
Well, give up 2 packs of cigarettes, whatever it's going to take. But this is recycling is important.
Thank you, Mr.
And it's
Johnson.
going to take care of your health, believe me.
Thank you.
Thank you. I done lost track of where I'm at now.
Mr. Mayor, I move to close the public hearing.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman
Second.
Chatelain to close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. We're going to go
I
council
move to
discussion.
proceed on the vote.
Oh,
on the
Councilman
amendment.
Asbill's
On the
moving to
amendment.
proceed on the vote, second by Councilman Johnson.
On the amendment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On the-
We are moving to proceed on the amendment by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. $4 is now changed
now
to
you can
$5.
defer the
Amendment
whole-
passes.
Mr. Mayor, I move to defer the main ordinance to the
Councilman
May
Asbill's
council
trying to mess
meeting.
me up. I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to defer 2019-11. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Proposed ordinance number 2019-11 on recycling has been deferred. Madam Clerk. This dude here.
right. Proposed ordinance number 2019-12. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman
I'll take it.
Johnston. An ordinance to impose for 6 months a moratorium on the re-subdivision, rezoning, and/or issuance of permits for construction or placement of building structures on property within a portion of the city of Harahan known as J.W. Colonial Estates.
Okay, do I have a motion to open for a public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Wheeler. Public hearing is now open. All right, no one wants to come speak forward on it. Do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
My only discussion is I had spoken with them, and they sent me an email. I'm talking about J.W. Marriott, the Blake, the whole association. They sent me an email that I forwarded to everybody, that they're looking to slow it down and to come in compliance. They were just asking if we can push this off or defer it until next month, when we're supposed to meet with them within the next week or two.
Yeah, so also, since this has been proposed, I've been in contact with JW representatives a couple of times. And we're gonna get some meetings together within the next couple of weeks to kind of get a grasp on what we're doing. I think we're going to walk the property next week as well. And so for now, I'd like to make a motion to defer this to the May
Do
meeting.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Asbill to defer ordinance 2019-12? Have a second? Second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Proposed ordinance 2019-12 has been deferred. Madam Clerk?
All right, ordinances for introduction. Proposed ordinance number 2019-13. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance imposing a monthly service charge to provide commercial and individuals with standard fire service.
Mayor, I'd like to motion to amend the agenda to add proposed ordinance 2019-14.
We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Johnson to amend the agenda to add proposed ordinance 2019-14. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas,
Yay.
0 nays.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to just make a point of personal privilege real quick. If we can go back to proposed ordinance 2019-13. I know it's kind of out of order for regular business, but I just want to make a few comments because there's we just need to get some information out about this proposed ordinance for the fire service charge. The main comment I've heard is that it's high, and it is, and I've been in discussions with the fire chief and several other firefighters, and they've justified this charge to me, and they'll do the same to you, and it'll be required of them to do the same to you as the citizens. And another comment I've heard is, why isn't this going before the people as a millage? Well, it's a little bit more urgent than a millage, to be quite honest. And you're going to get the information you need to hopefully get comfortable with this charge. I'd ask Chief Todd if he would get up and just say a few words about it and just tell him the plan going forward.
Absolutely. Thank you, Councilman. As most of you know that have paid attention to council meetings and what has gone on with the fire department over the last bunch of years, I've constantly stood up here and asked for the council and the mayors to work with me. Let's sit down around the table and talk and work this out. We have a crisis in the fire department and have had. We have a manpower issue. We have a fire truck issue. We have a fire station issue. We have a fire rating issue that now is affecting you at home. Right now on duty, I have 3 men. If someone's house catches on fire, that's who's responding to your house. If your child, your family member is trapped, we have 3 guys. That's what's coming. That's a problem. NFPA 1710 states that we should have at least 15 guys responding to an initial alarm of a structure fire. 15. We're well short of that. The standard is generally to put 4 or 5 firefighters on a truck. I have 1 per. It's unacceptable. We're at a crisis that our men haven't received raises in 13 years, and we've lost quite a few of them. They have 1 foot out the door right now and ready to step with the other. that's a crisis. And that's not just a blatant threat, and it's not a threat. It's something that the men have discussed for quite some time. They have expressed their feelings and concerns to all of the people sitting here. They have expressed it to me. I've asked this council some time ago to please help me with morale within my department. I can't do it alone. It takes money to do it. This is what's being addressed now. I will be happy to have a town hall meeting to discuss this and lay everything out to show exactly what we plan on doing with this meeting. I will field any question. I will stay as long as it takes. If you'd like me to come and talk to a civic group or come talk to a group of individuals that you want to put together, if you want to have a coffee, a dinner, or whatever, I'll be happy to come to your home and speak to you and explain the importance of what we're trying to do with this fire department. But what I can no longer do is stand outside of burning houses in the city of Harahan and watch one guy go through the door by himself. I can't do it. It has taken its toll on my men. They have been taxed with overtime. If someone takes off, or two people, one man's sick and another guy was already in Florida on vacation, we have to bring guys from other shifts, and it happens quite often. You know, and when we only have 3 guys on a shift and somebody takes off, that leaves 2, so we're bringing in, we can't even always get overtime shifts filled. So sometimes you have 2 guys. I can't sit idly by. I have pounded on this desk a number of times, and I have for years. For those of you who have said on Facebook, as Mr. North has said, how they talk and give misinformation and say that this chief or myself has never come up here and that I've sat idly by as my guys hurt, you're wrong. I have always stood up for my men, and I always will stand up for my men. I have fought with councils. I have fought with mayors. I have chosen to do this in the office, not out here. I try to be as professional as possible and discuss things out here with class, with dignity, and as a representation of my men. And I will continue to do that. In the office, this mayor already can tell you I'm not as nice. I think everyone here can tell you I'm not quite as nice in the back office. Not that I'm disrespectful, but I'm a lot more demanding. I expect as much from them as I expect from myself. So come on out. I will come out with a date. I'll post it on Facebook. We'll post it on City Hall board. Come out and ask your questions. I will justify every dime that we intend to spend. I'm ready, ample, willing, and have been ready and ample and willing for a long time to do this. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Yes,
I
sir.
believe we checked on a date for City Hall, for the playground.
That's right.
If we have
If we could
confirmation on
schedule
that, the date that we
now,
discussed,
that way it'll be publicly announced.
that
Yeah.
would be,
So that date will be Thursday, May 9th at 7 o'clock at Soniat Gym.
let's go with
That's
that.
the main playground. Thursday, May 8th, 7 p.m. May 9th, I'm sorry.
May
Thursday,
9th.
May 9th, 7 p.m. for the fire department town hall meeting to discuss.
Please
fire
come out.
service charge.
Please ask your questions. Please come at me with everything you have. I'm ready to answer them.
Guys,
My
and-
men need your help.
I'm
Thank
going
you.
to ask, this town hall meeting is scheduled for fire department issues. I want to get there. We want to talk about fire department issues. I don't want to be rude, but if you come there and you want to talk about other issues, call me. I'll talk to you about them another time. We're going to schedule this meeting for fire issues. I think we might be there a while. We'll be prepared. Chief's going to answer questions. There's something we can answer, we will. But I'd like to keep it to one topic. Thank you.
I'd like to comment on that also. It's not going to be a council meeting. It's going to be a fire department town hall presentation. So we won't have the same structure as this meeting, which will make it more flexible, and it'll be more informative. And the other thing I'd like to say is, I know all of the elected officials up here were invited to the fire department, and I believe we all went, walked the facility, spoke with the firemen, saw their equipment, discussed the age of it. This is not just a number of personnel and salary issue, although that needs to be addressed. I believe it is at a crisis stage. But we've got a fire station, a firehouse that has mold in it. We've got leaks. We've got equipment that hasn't been repaired according to anything close to scheduled maintenance. The fire department, unfortunately, has been neglected, and it has reached a crisis situation. And I would hope the fire department would be open to any citizen doing a tour of it and seeing what we've seen firsthand.
Most certainly.
Thank
We'd
you.
be happy to. We've never hidden from this situation, and I've always been vocal, and we've always talked about it. This isn't a situation that we created. This was a situation that we were dealt. Our station is not in the condition that it's in because we abuse it. It's in the condition that it's in because we don't spend the money to maintain it. Our trucks are not in the condition that they're in because we abuse them. Our trucks are in the condition because we don't spend the money that it takes to keep them repaired. We allocate about $10,000 a year for vehicle repair and maintenance for 4 fire apparatus. I can bring our mechanic here that will tell you.
$1,200. One tie is $1,200.
I could bring my mechanic here that will tell you that if we're not spending at least $40,000 a year, $10,000 per truck, we're well behind the ball of maintaining those trucks. And that's how you keep a truck in service for 25 years. By the way, I have a 22-year-old truck that 3 years from now has to come out of service or be seriously overhauled and refurbished. I have another 20-year truck that 5 years from now, if we don't come up with a plan and do something soon, pretty soon, we're already borrowing 1 truck from Jefferson Parish as a reserve. Pretty soon, we won't have any fire trucks. Another point of concern that we need to address before long is we have breathing equipment that has a timestamp on it. From the day you buy it, says you can only use this for X amount of time because you can no longer refill this bottle and we no longer make parts for this regulator. Well, guess what? We're about 6 months away from D-Day. We won't be able to enter into your house because we won't have any breathing equipment. So we'll have to fight fires from the outside. So, again, not a scare tactic. This is all facts. Unfortunately, the facts. Not facts that I've created, facts that I've been dealt. Thank you.
Chief, I'm going to ask someone to come into that meeting as a mediator, just to control the audience. You know, we'll have somebody that'll call them up. You know, I don't want to put the pressure on you. I don't want
Well,
someone to...
here's the thing. I'm ready for the pressure. I don't need a mediator. I'll be happy to answer any question that any individual.
I don't want someone to argue and try to take over the
I've been in
meeting.
this fire
with you.
department for 32 years, my friends. 32 years I've given my life to this city. I've given the last 18 years of my life as the fire chief. I have the best group of men in the entire world working right here in the city of Harahan in your fire department. I have lost men to other departments who were also some of the best in the business. I have also, unfortunately, hired people that have left that are still firefighters in other companies that make way more money than even I do as the top paid guy in the city. That's horrible. That shouldn't happen. We should have more respect for our firemen and what we're putting coming into your homes. You know, I've recently responded to a working structure fire, old teacher of mine and someone I consider a personal friend. And when they were out of the house when we got there, I was thankful to God. Because had we had to go in, I was the first guy there. I was helping fight the fire with my other 2 guys. I should never have to do that. I should be in command structure that sits there and watches and makes sure that our strategy and tactics are proper so that we can properly execute a rescue, attack, and a salvage of this home. For me attacking a fire, doing that, who's watching over my guys? No one. They're on their own, just like I was. That shouldn't happen. We live in the city of Harahan, folks. One of the greatest cities in the state of Louisiana. I understand that some people can't afford to pay for certain things. We're also one of the richest communities. And maybe we have to make certain considerations or do something, and I don't want to bargain anything away because we need every dime that we can get, but we have to do something. And if you want to call me reaching into your pocket to do what's right for each and every one of you and each and every one of them men, then please open your pocket because I'm gonna stick my hand in. Thank you very much. Sorry, and I don't mean to sound cocky about that, but it's the fact. We've become that desperate. So I appreciate if you want to have a mediator there. I appreciate it, but I'm ready for all all comers and anyone who wants to talk fire department. That's my business, that's what we do. I'll have my guys there as well that can confirm.
Unless we get a call.
Yeah, then y'all can have this town hall meeting on your own. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
I'd like to ask just a point of clarification. Line 53, it indicates that the proposed monthly service charge is $40 a month? Or was that to be $40 per water bill, $20 a month? It's a huge difference.
Yep.
It's the difference of $1 million a year.
$40 per month. I mean, $40 per month.
The
That's what's
proposal is
proposed.
$40 per month, per unit.
That's $2 million a year,
Yep.
plus. Okay.
Mayor?
I can bring you justification for $6 million if you need.
Mayor, make a motion to move to new business.
All right, just real fast, I want to say just something
We
real
got
quick.
this ordinance.
Ordinance 14.
Oh,
Well, let me speak on this, while we still got it on the floor. When I was campaigning, and I've been on this council for 10 years, and I was campaigning, and a guy named Gary Hopkins came to that podium with tears in his eyes, and I saw for the first time, and maybe, I don't know why this gentleman woke me up, but he did. And I saw for the first time that, man, something desperately needed to be done there. But in that time, I was working with the Police Advisory Committee. We were trying to do the same thing with the Police Advisory Committee. We were losing officers in droves. It had cost the city of Harahan $500,000 over 5 years just from retraining the officers. That was your tax dollars just wasted. And so through the campaign, I think it became a battle cry of me that if I won, I was not going to sit idly by and do nothing for the fire department, that I was going to fight with every single thing that I had to bring something up to standard. And so this council and I and Chief St. Cyr, I mean, we have been milling through this for weeks. It's tough, it's hard. It's hard for everyone, but I think that I will never be the gentleman to go against the fire department, the police department, or the playground, but fire department in particularly in this case, when my children or any one of your children on the 3rd floor or the 2nd floor and we can't get them down. I never want that on my conscience. So I'm gonna work as hard as I can to continue to work with this fire department, and we thank you very, very much for what you've done with the police department. It has been amazing. The morale is getting better every day. Things are looking better every day, and I want to continue that same progress in our fire department. We need to stand up as a city and show them that we love them and that we support them, and show them what they mean to us.
And we'll return that to you, I promise.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Just one more time. Fire Department Town Hall, Harahan Playground, Thursday, May 9th at 7 p.m.
At the playground.
at the playground.
Okay, now I have a motion.
Move to return to first reading for 2019-14.
We have a motion, we have a,
However you do that, I don't know.
yeah, I forgot.
Huh?
We have a motion on the floor to,
No, second.
motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay. Madam Clerk?
Proposed ordinance number 2019-14. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman, or unanimously? Yeah, unanimously. An ordinance to sell and/or auction property owned by the municipality of the city of Harahan, providing for the procedure to be utilized pursuant to the provisions of LRS 334712, which provides for the sale, exchange, or lease of property by a municipality. All right, old business, planning and zoning board nominations.
Mr. Mayor, at this time, I move to nominate Mr. Dane Doucette to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to nominate Dane Doucette to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Congratulations, Mr. Doucette. Welcome to the Planning and Zoning Board. Mr. Doucette, thank you. Congratulations. Welcome to the Planning and Zoning Board.
We had another nomination, but I believe it was brought to our attention, I think once you sit on planning and zoning board for 2 terms, you cannot sit on it again.
I think you just have to sit out one full term.
I'm trying to look that up.
The way it's written, it can be read as never again. So I think we just need to clarify the ordinance and
So
maybe just
we're gonna wait
change
for
it up.
legal opinion before we do any more, because we have people we're interested in, they've sat on the board, so we need to get this worked out prior to making any more
I
nominations.
mean, they've also, yeah, and, you know, if you want to serve, let us know. I know they've got people on Facebook that have got great opinions. If they want to come on up and be, and be heard and be met, we'll be happy to meet any of them. Whether it be David Tran, Ben McDaniel, anybody that might be, yeah, anybody there.
Okay. All right, Madam Clerk, new business?
All right, new business number 1. This is just announcing that Ziggy Bash was postponed to Sunday, April 28th, 2019, due to the bad weather on April 7th.
We don't
And-
have to re-vote for
No,
it.
everything
Just-
was already
okay,
approved.
Yeah.
It's
I just didn't
a
know if with the date change, I
change.
didn't know if we had to do it. Okay.
Nope.
Do you know what time, Madam Clerk?
It's from 11 to 7, 11 to 8, excuse
11
me.
to 8.
11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yes.
Yep. All right, new business number 2. The St. Rita Dads Club is requesting permission to sell beer at the 5th Annual St. Rita Dads Club Crawfish Cook-Off on Saturday, May 18th, from 4 p.m. until 10 p.m. They're also requesting permission to block Berg Street from Imperial Woods Drive to Rayvan Avenue from 9 a.m. until 11 p.m.
Okay, do I have a motion to grant permission to St. Rita to
Motion.
block up Berg Street?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson,
And to sell
second by
beer.
Councilman Wheeler.
And to sell beer.
What's that?
And to sell beer.
Oh, and to sell beer. So, we have a motion to block up Berg Street and sell beer. I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. They can sell that beer.
They will have police detail.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they will.
All right, number 3, Coretta's Grill is requesting permission to hold their annual Cinco de Mayo celebration on Sunday, May 5th, from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m., and alcohol will be served.
Okay, do I have a motion to grant permission to Coretta's Grill for Cinco de Mayo?
Just want to make,
I have
yeah.
a correction, I mean,
Yeah,
a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure with Chief that they have details there or whatever.
Yeah,
They-
Yeah,
Cinco
yeah,
de
yeah.
Mayo.
They
But
say they're gonna have 2.
No street block, because I know they tried that one year. I just want to make that clear. We're not blocking the street. Yes.
It's fun, too. I mean, it gets out of hand,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's nice. It's fun.
So my question is,
No, not that kind of item.
Yes, sir.
why do they need this? They have a permit to sell alcohol. Are they doing it on public property, or are they doing it outside, or?
They're doing it outside.
Outside.
Okay, so it's outside, okay,
Yes.
thank you,
Outside their facility.
thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion to grant permission?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yeah,
Yay.
yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Mr. Maker, Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Maker.
Mr. Mayor, you can be the maker too if you want. I move to suspend the rules, amend the agenda to add new business number 4.
This dude. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman
I'm sorry,
Asbill to,
Wait, you got it.
to change the date of the May council meeting
oh, this boy.
to May 23rd, 2019 at 7 p.m.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill under new business to change the May meeting to January 23rd.
No.
May.
May 20.
I'm sorry, May 23rd at 7 p.m., which will be the 4th Thursday?
4th Thursday,
The
yes, sir.
4th Thursday of May.
Oh, 1 second here.
He's trying to diss you. I'm gonna just throw that guy out.
What's that, Ms. Judy?
Does anybody know of a conflict?
I have no conflict.
No.
I'm good.
Okay.
Anybody in the audience know of a conflict?
It does. All right, move to proceed with the vote.
Okay, so in full transparency, we
What's
have,
that?
Which is it? Yeah, we're gonna,
Yeah.
he's got a
Yeah.
motion to do it, I'll say.
I'll second.
yeah, all right, so we got a motion in full transparency to the 4th Thursday of May, 23rd, 7 p.m. The council meeting will change from the 3rd Thursday to the 4th Thursday. Same time, same bat channel. Right here, and we have a motion on the floor by
Month of
Councilman
May only.
Asbill.
Second.
Month of May only.
Yes.
Second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Meeting is moved to the 23rd at 7 PM, the fourth Thursday of May. All right. Madam Clerk.
Anyone wish to address the council? Miss Barbara, you kinda loud. Address the council. You got another one to add?
Is that it? Or you gonna, that's it? That's it?
That was
Number
my
4 was moving the date.
Oh, Crescent City Amateurs, I'd like to make an amendment to add number 4 to new business.
Number 5.
Number
Number
5.
I have
five.
a motion on the floor by Councilman Chatelain to add on the new business number 5.
Second.
Crescent City Amateur Radio Group Incorporated, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor? 5 yea. All in favor?
Yeah.
All right, 5 yeas, 0 nays.
What are we doing?
All right, number 5 is added to the agenda.
In November.
This is just a request for permission to hold their yearly event called the Greater New Orleans Ham Fest on November 2nd. It's at the Harahan Lions Club building. It's located at 1001 Hickory Avenue. The Ham Fest is a garage sale type of event where individuals sell, buy, and swap their used ham radio equipment. This event will run from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m.
Okay, do we have a motion to grant permission?
Motion?
Motion by Councilman Buddy, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Permission is granted.
All right.
Give me that paper back.
And address the council.
Okay. Would anyone like to address the council? Please state your name and number and your address at the podium. Thank you.
Michael Amudio, 409 Crescione, also serve on Planning and Zoning. I just came up to say, Chief, thanks for everything. Other chief, he wasn't here last time? No, you weren't missing last time. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well. But anyway, hey, I just want to say thanks for helping get Planning and Zoning back in the ring of things. And I'm also here as president of my homeowners association to talk to you. They did bring up, said, hey, we have a good amount of police presence, but right now, I think in the afternoons, we're having some people that just got their driver's licenses coming off at school and all this kind of stuff, and they're flying through the neighborhood. So if we could get somebody from traffic to sit in there in the afternoons every now and then, just to, you don't even have to give them tickets, just tell them you're going to arrest them. You know what I mean? And scare the bejesus out of them. You know what I mean? Just
We'll take the tickets.
But they did bring it up. They made sure to say that, hey, you know, they patrol all the time. You know what I mean? So you know, appreciate that. But that's it. And as usual, you know, thanks everybody. Yeah, that's fine. I don't get home till 6. So. But
Mr. Medio, thank you for your service.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
nothing
you're
to it.
always there when I call. I have tons of questions for you all the time. You always answer. I appreciate that.
Hey, nothing to it. That's what I'm here for. And it's great to see everybody up here smiling, laughing, and moving through things quickly. You know what I mean? And all that good stuff. So I love it. It's a beautiful time.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. Address the council.
Again, Maurizio, 239 West Avenue. I wish Todd would be here, but again, $40 for the fire department. Again, it's not going to make or break me. I can afford $40. But if we're going to spend $40, I want it to be the best damn fire department there needs to be. But I mean, I can understand.
We
Huh?
do think we can. We do. We
I mean, I
believe
can
very
understand people who on fixed incomes, $40 is a lot. Maybe, I don't know, a graduated tax, start at 35, I don't know, alternative, but again, if it's gonna be $40, I want shiny brand new trucks.
Yes, sir.
I want everything brand new, brand new.
I know we're gonna sit and say we want shiny, brand new trucks.
Right.
The money we spend on training, and we're losing these guys. We want to keep our guys, you know. So it's not just the equipment; it's going to be pay raises, the station. I'm telling you now, $40 a month. You're
Yeah,
not
we-
getting
we-
shiny new trucks.
You and I and Todd
You're gonna
talked
get
about
some
that before, yeah.
you know, but we need everything, you know.
More personnel.
So let me
Yeah,
let me
just
throw
like-
this out there
just-
for you.
oh.
Let me throw this out there for you because I know that Councilman Johnson's been getting a lot of heat on Facebook and undeservedly, because I'm gonna tell you something, he is coming up, he is gonna help us get out now. For our fire truck's about 700,000. And he is committed to step up and pay for half that fire truck for us, so we can start this process, so we can shine for you guys, because we know that what we're asking for, you know, is a little steep, but we want to make sure that we're giving it back to you. We want to be, as a city and the fire department, that shining star for you.
Right. I guess just to make sure if we're going to spend the $4, it's going to go all towards the fire department.
First class.
Every penny.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Top of the notch.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
I'm not saying. Top, I mean, you know what I mean. But just
You want to make sure we
the
get the
best
best bang
the
for our
best of
buck.
what, best of what we can afford.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and
So-
you got to remember, our fire department responds to medical calls. I mean, I think I said it last week. We had 2 infants. You know, one kid, I think, less than 10 days old, stopped breathing.
Right.
That's worth $40 a month to me.
True. That's my-
Maurizio,
yes.
if you don't mind, I'll butt in a little bit here. If that doesn't happen, I need your help to come get them. Okay.
You got it. You got it.
Rena Sanders, Oak Avenue. I just wanted to say how proud I am to be a part of all this. A mayor that communicates with the council and a council that communicates with the mayor. And y'all are all working so hard every day. And we haven't seen that in a long time. And I'm really proud of every one of you. Every one of you.
Thank you,
you.
Ms. Reed.
Thank you for your service.
Been a while.
Oh, yes. Jason Riddick, 7204 Stoneleigh.
So it begins.
Yeah. You only have 4 more years of this, I promise. I would like to begin by saying, with regards to Todd St. Cyr, I would like to ensure that at some level there's a good analysis done to determine who's going to actually control his portion of the budget. Because it seems to me that if we're going to be putting millions more dollars in his pocket, as I hope we do, he needs to control it. No offense, you don't.
Absolutely.
Okay? And so I want that to be very clear, is that my opinion on this particular issue is he needs to control his destiny. And so if we're going to do this, make sure it's in his hands.
Absolutely.
Another thing is, and I've been hearing it all night in bits and pieces, is, oh my goodness, $18 a year, and the rest of this, you know, his money for the fire department. Folks, if you can't afford $18 a year in an increase to a water bill, I'm sorry, we have bigger problems to deal with than 18 bucks. I'm sorry, we do. If we can't afford to help Todd St. Cyr and the fire department now through this mechanism, and they've already said we're going to put it up for some sort of a vote in the future, great, fine, wonderful, that makes me happy. But I believe they're right. I have walked through that fire station. There is mold that is dripping down onto the ground. It is growing in these incredible formations. It looks like dinosaurs. It's gross. So, in my mind, if this is the mechanism that's necessary, so be it. Great. Whatever it takes. It's $40 a month. It's worth every single penny. Thank you.
So let me put this bee in your bonnet real
Yeah.
quick. So I'll play devil's advocate to the chief, because I was very concerned about how this would play out. And so I went to some Jefferson Parish officials and I said, what if our fire department closed down? And you know what they told us? We would support you. We would come. You're talking additional minutes to response, and you'd have to pay out 25 mils. Now
Yep.
compare that 25 mils to that $40, because we're either going to support our fire department or we're going to support theirs.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to interrupt, just so y'all know, Chief asked for $75 a month.
Yeah, so I will say that,
I said I could justify it.
I will say, and I'm sorry to interrupt Mr. Branch, but I will say that, you know, as with anything, there's the Cadillac, there's, you know, the GMC or the Buick, there's the Chevy, and there's the Pinto. Right now, we're driving the Pinto down the street. The broke down Pinto. And we're just trying to upgrade. We're not trying to get the Cadillac. We like it, but $40 isn't going to do it. We're just trying to upgrade our vehicle a little bit so we can
We'll be happy with the GMC.
better service. Yeah, we'll be fine with GMC or
That's
Buick.
right.
Brian Branch, 167 Raven. You're absolutely right. I will take a Chevy over a Pinto any day. I can see where a lot of people have sticker shock over this.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big number when you really look at it. But I guarantee you that every single parent out there, if they ever lost a child, it's not enough.
No.
Never. I have concerns, but we're gonna talk through it. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna find a way to make sure that this happens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, we're now closed. Address the council. Secretary's report.
Secretary's report for March, $562,467.87. Reports.
Reports, Chief Walker.
Harahan Police Department stats for the month of March 2019. We had 777 calls for service, 13 auto accidents, issued 131 citations for 168 different charges, non-patrol requests. Arrests for narcotics were 9, charges were 16, 11 felonies, 2 misdemeanors, 3 city charges. Other arrests were 89 for 160 charges, 8 felonies, 117 misdemeanors, 21 city, and 14 traffic. Murders, none. Rapes, none. Robberies, none. Residential burglary, none. Non-residential burglary, none. Attempt burglary, none. Motor vehicle theft, none. Attempted motor vehicle theft, none for the month. We had 7 larceny thefts and 13 assaults. Again, have a happy and safe Easter. God bless.
2 cents here.
Yeah, Council, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for even considering the proposal that will be before you next month.
Turn your mic on.
Speak up.
That's Todd Tooney on next to me, turning off my mic all night long.
He's tricking you
First
like
of all,
Asbill
I'd like to
trying
thank
do
y'all
me.
for even hearing the proposed ordinance that Councilman Asbill has put before you, and I look forward to talking to the community next month and addressing you again next month, and hopefully have its passage. I'd like to wish everyone a safe and happy Easter, and I will shut up now and exercise my Fifth Amendment right before I say too much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Councilman Asbill?
So I'm just gonna, couple things, just provide a quick update on the Wood case, what is made public. Right now, it got through the Supreme Court, and the city of Harahan prevailed in the Supreme Court. We want to thank former city attorney and McGill Barrist on his work on that. He's gonna stay with us for a little while to see that case out, and we're really looking forward to that. And also, as you know, every month is a different cause. This month, April, is a Volunteer Appreciation Month. Just want to thank a couple of volunteers that impact my life and my kids' lives. First of all, you're probably going to hear it every month. Thank the volunteers of the Young Marines. They've made a great impact on me, and I'm sure they will my kids. And also thank the volunteers at the Harahan Playground. They continue to go out there day in and day out, coach our kids, and it's not just about ball, it's about life skills as well. So I want to thank those volunteers that we have out in our community, and happy Easter.
Thank you, Councilman Asbill. Councilman Bodie?
I'd like just to wish everybody a happy Easter, and please come to the town hall meeting. Thank you.
Councilman Chatterley?
Guys, first I'm going to give my phone number. Today someone called me and told me no one has my phone number. So I'm going to give my phone number. If everybody wants to listen, they can rewind it on YouTube and watch it back and forth. My phone number is 504-416-7807. Feel free to call me. The best way to get me is to call me. You leave me a message. If I miss that call, I will call you back. Occasionally, I'll work in warehouses and stuff. My phone might be out of service. But if you leave me a message, I will call you back. Citizens that live in Harahan, it's not hard to find me. I live at 700 Colonial Club Drive. You can knock on my door until 10 o'clock at night. After 10 o'clock at night, I might be sleeping. 7 o'clock in the morning, knock on my door. Call me any questions. I want to give a lot of props to Councilman Asbill. He put this ordinance up, asking for $40 a month. That takes a lot. Don't just beat him up, beat us all up. Call us with your problems. You know, he can't put this through by himself. So if there's a problem and y'all have something against it, call us. We'll work it out. But that takes a lot to put that up. You know, somebody, you know, I got the phone calls today. They said, what's wrong with this guy? There's nothing wrong with him. He wants what's best for the city. That's what we all want. I think everyone in here wants what's best for the city. We need to figure out how to make it work. Feel free to call any of us up here. We're trying to move the city forward. Thank you.
Councilman Johnston,
It's Happy Easter.
Councilman Wheeler.
So I just want to remind everybody, so St. Rita's doing their crawfish cook-off. It'll be Saturday, May 18th. If you want to put a team in, it's a team of 4. I believe the team fee is 5, excuse me. $350 for early registration, and I think on the day before or the day of, I think it jumps up to like $400. It's not that much of a difference, but it's a good fundraiser, brings tons of money to the school, and we have a great time. So if you're interested, you can just contact the school. The forms are there. I think it's even on the on the school website too, if you're interested. And yes, have a happy Easter.
Y'all, it is a blast. That
And I want to jump in on that real quick.
Yep, good.
You can buy bands from the school
Oh, that's right,
directly.
bands.
I think they're for adults 20 and then 25 at the gate. And I think up to 12, I believe. It's, 10 and 15?
10 and 15.
10 before and 15 at the gate.
Hey, Craig, if people don't want to cook in a crawfish cook-off but want to be a part, is there sponsorship opportunity?
Yeah,
Yes.
they do have
I
sponsorships.
believe it's on
yes.
Facebook.
All right, check it out on Facebook.
St. Rita Crawfish
Yes.
Cook-Off has a Facebook page.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll see some of the council members duking it out. Maybe with the mayor too.
I got this.
Oh, no.
I got this.
I got this.
Y'all have been a councilman for 10 years. I've been a mayor for 4 months, and this has been a dream come through to work with these group of people. And this is what Team Harahan looks like. This is what a team looks like. And that's the note I want to leave on tonight. Team Harahan, happy Easter.
Well said.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Pay the bills. Pay the
Paying
bills.
bills. Oh, team, I hate paying the bills.
$276,259.97.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Councilman Johnson to adjourn, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Don't you nay? No, 5 yeas, 0 nays. That's a no-hitter, brother. I pitched.